Hey everyone, Mundo here. If you would like to support the show, please head to patreon.com/crimeandcourtusa. Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Crime and Court USA. I'm recording this on September 29th, 2021. I'm your host, Mundo Carrillo. I hope you guys are doing well. Me, I had a mixed weekend. So my nephews and my sister came to visit from San Diego. That was awesome. They're cute little kids, you know what I mean? Just running around, so full of energy. Me and my dad were talking. We're like, why do kids run everywhere? Like if they gotta go to the next room or whatever, they gotta run over there. You know what I mean? And the younger one, the 3-year-old, they're 5 and 3. The 3-year-old does like this weird like Flintstones thing where he has to take like 10 steps before he can get going in a forward direction. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has to build some momentum, I guess. I don't know. But that was an awesome weekend. My brother-in-law got injured, so yeah, I felt kind of bad about that. So he got on the hammock at my parents' house, and like instantly the cloth ripped and he just fell. Like he fell flat on his back. And it was one of those things, like it was hilarious, right? Like at the moment, like we were all just like laughing at him, like and you know, one of those things where like where someone falls and like you start laughing and then like they don't get up for a while, you're like oh. So yeah, he didn't get up for quite a while. He was kind of hurting, so he went to the doctor and he had some kind of fracture or something. I don't know. He was injured. So like it's not funny, but it's kind of funny. You know what I mean? It's funny until someone gets hurt, right? It was funny until he actually got diagnosed with an injury, man. Why is watching people fall down so funny? You know, like even me, I'm a victim of it. I used to ride a longboard in college, and I remember one time I just ate shit right in front of a bunch of people, and you could see them like covering their mouths or whatever, like hiding their laughter. It's like, hey man, I hate you guys. But I've done it before too. One time, this dude just landed right on his face, like right in front of me. He was on his bike and he was coming up on a crowd. I don't know why, like he was surprised by this crowd, if this crowd kind of came out of nowhere. But he slammed on his brake, but he only slammed on the front brake. So he just flew right over his handlebars and landed right on his face. But that time, people were like, oh man, are you okay and stuff? But they didn't say that for me. They weren't concerned about your boy, you know what I mean? I was fine, that's why. This guy was fine too. He just landed square in his face in front of everybody, including me, like right next to me. I hope I asked him if he was okay. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I did. I may have been the one covering my mouth laughing. Oh, man. I say it was a mixed weekend because for whatever reason, CenturyLink just decided to close my internet account for like no reason. No reason at all. I didn't owe them money, like nothing. They just closed it. And like when I called the dude, he was like, yeah, we don't know why we closed it, but your account's closed, so we got to start you completely over from scratch. So It is Wednesday. I haven't had internet since Saturday, and I'm not getting my new router and stuff until Friday. So I have been without internet this entire time. In fact, I'm at my apartment now without internet. So I'm going to record this episode, edit it, and then go to my parents' house to upload it. And I was there all day doing the research for this episode. So all day yesterday. So yeah, that's been fun. I have nothing but streaming services either, so I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't do anything, man. I've been reading books. I've been reading a lot. Actually, that's how I've been passing the time. I'm reading Jurassic Park right now. It's pretty exciting. Heck of a book. It's pretty gruesome, though. It's way more violent than the movie. Just if you want to check it out, just be wary of that. So, yeah, I was still able to scrounge a couple of news items together for you guys. So, let's just get right into it, shall we? The first news item. Superstar R. Kelly is guilty on all 9 counts that he faced at a federal trial earlier this month and faces life in prison, according to the New York Times. The verdict was reached on Monday, September 27th, after a 6-week trial that included 50 witnesses. And so on last Friday, the jury deliberated for about 4 hours before returning on Monday and finalizing their verdict guilty on all counts. That tells me that the United States is, because this is a federal trial, right? So U.S. attorneys are prosecuting. Their case was really solid, really convincing. I mean, to hear 6 weeks of testimony, 50 witnesses, and to come back in a matter of hours with your verdict. I mean, I think it was read fairly early on Monday. So it's possible they only delivered for like 8 hours after hearing 6 weeks of testimony. That must have been a hell of a case from the U.S. Attorney's Office. So yeah, they seem to have convinced the jury. The jury came back quickly, guilty on all counts. He is scheduled to be sentenced in May 2022, which is a while away, but he's not really going anywhere anyways. He does face other charges. He faces state charges in Illinois as well as other federal cases. I think one of them's in Minnesota. So yeah, he's just not going anywhere. Plus, he does face a lot of time. This case is actually super interesting because he was actually charged with running a criminal enterprise. He was charged with racketeering, which is normally a charge that's reserved for the mob and organizations like that. They say that Kelly and his entourage, the people around him, that they all worked together to run this criminal enterprise that basically trafficked young girls sexually. They brought him across state lines. They went out and recruited him. And yeah, so he's convicted of that. And 2 other people in that entourage, I believe, are also facing charges in connection to this. Another one of those counts, including bribing a government official so he can marry singer Aaliyah back when she was actually 15 in 1994 and Kelly was 27. He had this person forge documents saying that she was 18. And Aaliyah, of course, died in a plane crash in 2001. I remember that. That was pretty sad. I do remember that. Kelly also wrote and produced her 1994 debut album, which was called, and get this, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Man, that is just blatant, man. That is just blatant. The signs were all there, people. We should have seen these things. Age ain't nothing but a number. Looking back on the now, it's like, oh my God. But Jesus. This was interesting as well. Several of the accusers testified under pseudonyms during the trial to protect their privacy. I've covered sexual assault trials in New Mexico in state court, and I've never seen that happen before. Maybe this is a federal thing. A lot of these women were actually children when these crimes occurred, so maybe that's another reason why, because you can do stuff like that to protect children. I know that for sure. So I've never seen that at trial, though, where people can testify under a pseudonym. So that's kind of interesting. And yeah, these accusers said some wild stuff on the stand. So according to the Associated Press, quote, his accusers said they were under orders to call him daddy, expected to jump and kiss him anytime he walked into a room, and to cheer only for him when he played pickup basketball games in which they said he was a ball hog, end quote. I don't know why the AP said included to the ball hog thing, but yeah, that other stuff is super bizarre. The accusers also said they had to sign non-disclosure forms and were subject to punishments such as spankings. He also gave several of these accusers herpes and didn't disclose it to them, which is a crime, apparently. I saw too that during the trial, a doctor that treated Kelly in the past actually testified that he did have herpes. So hey man, you just gotta prove your case. If you just gotta bring charges like this, you gotta prove it. So that includes bringing on your doctor and having him tell the jury that, yep, the singer had herpes. It also came out during trial that he filmed a video of one of the victims smearing feces on herself as punishment for breaking the rules. So again, just super, super bizarre behavior, super bizarre stuff. But the defense had labeled accusers as groupies and stalkers who were obsessed with Kelly. The defense said that these women were in consensual relationships and healthy relationships with Kelly. And one of Kelly's attorneys actually said he wanted to appeal the verdict. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know on what grounds. Obviously, when you want to appeal a verdict, you have to prove or argue anyways that something went wrong during the trial, that something prejudiced your client. Just, I don't know. We'll see what kind of arguments come up. That won't be for some time, I imagine. Kelly has been in jail since 2019, which is actually not something I knew until I talked about the start of the trial a few weeks ago on this podcast. So he's been in jail for a while. He might be the first really famous person that I know of to get life in prison. That's probably not true, but he's the first I can think of. And people keep talking about how he's just sort of dodged this kind of stuff. He's been accused of this kind of stuff going back to the 90s of sexually abusing girls And he actually faced child pornography charges in 2008 after a journalist at the Chicago Sun-Times, I believe, got a video. Someone just anonymously left him a video that showed Kelly appearing to urinate on a young girl. So he faced charges for that, but he was acquitted. And of course, Dave Chappelle made fun of that too on Chappelle's show. And the title of the Aaliyah album is just really sticking with me. Come on. It's this whole Me Too thing. It's like all these allegations that are coming up against people. It's like they're just almost like nothing new. Like, people knew about this stuff, but actual charges didn't come out until recent years. So yeah, he won't be sentenced for a while, as I said. So I don't think any news will come of this case for a while. So as of right now, he is convicted, faces life in prison, and faces other trials as well. But if there's an appeal and it's interesting enough, I might talk about it. Moving on. Oh, before that, I just kind of want to see what you guys thought about separating the artist from the art. Now, obviously, R. Kelly is a very, very famous singer, and he has a couple of bangers. I'm not going to lie. The remix to Ignition, banger, But knowing that he's actually not just accused anymore, but convicted, like legally, he did it. And can you listen to that music still? A lot of people are going to, I imagine. Still, a lot of people probably still think he was done an injustice. They think he's innocent or whatever. That's fine. They can think that. But yeah, I don't know. Can you separate that? I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can listen to them songs now and just, And the unfortunate thing is other people did work on those songs as well. It wasn't just him putting out these records and stuff. Other people did work on it, and you got to appreciate their work. But man, the guy at the front of it all was, according to these accounts, and now again legally he did it. So he was a monster. He was. The behavior, the things he subjected little girls to, basically. Teenagers, but still girls. It's horrible, and I don't know if I can listen to. It's not like I was the biggest R. Kelly fan. I'm not at all. But Ignition, the remix to Ignition's okay, I guess. But I know other people obviously love his music, and for me, I don't know, man. I don't know. I believe I can fly. Nope, stop it. No. So anyways, okay, now let's move on. Okay, an arrest warrant has been issued for Brian Laundrie. Brian Laundrie is, of course, the fiance of Gabby Petito, who was found dead in Wyoming earlier this month after the two went on a cross-country road trip in their van. It was a whole thing. You guys can listen to last episode 20, if you want to listen to all that. But yeah, Brian Laundrie. So Gabby Petito came up. They found her death has been ruled a homicide, meaning that she was killed by someone else. We don't have an exact manner of death yet, but there's evidence to suggest that she was killed by someone else, whether that be strangulation, blunt force trauma, stab wounds, bullet wounds, whatever. Right. And her fiance, and by the way, just a quick correction from last week. I believe I kept referring to them as boyfriend and girlfriend, but they were in fact engaged, so I should be saying fiance. Her fiance, Brian Laundrie, has been missing. Police have been looking for him. On Saturday, September 25th, Laundrie's mother, Roberta Laundrie, called 911 on Dog, the bounty hunter. This is crazy. Of course, now there's a big manhunt, so of course dogs can get involved. Dog just said that he was there just trying to find the guy alive. He kept emphasizing that he wanted to find him alive. And yeah, apparently the Laundrie family has been dealing with a lot. They've been calling the cops a lot because protesters have been there. The media has been there. Just a lot. There's been a lot of action at their house, and apparently they've had to call the cops on people a lot. On Tuesday, September 28th, Gabby's family held a press conference on Long Island, where she's from. Well, actually, they're both from there, but somewhere along the line, Brian's parents moved down to Florida, it looks like. So that's where they took off from. They took off from New York, and they ended up out west, going to different national parks. Anyway, Tuesday, they held a press conference on Long Island. It was the first time they had spoken publicly since Gabby disappeared. They just asked that people keep Gabby's legacy alive by helping other missing people, and they asked for the public's help in finding Brian. So that's where we stand now. I don't know really what else is going to develop in this case until they find Brian, dead or alive. I mean, I saw last week sometime, he told his parents that he was going to go hiking in this big reserve down there in Florida. So that's why it was like a 24,000 acre reserve. So super big area, super hard to search, I'm sure. But I did see that they sent out divers into the area to go look for him. So in my experience, when they send divers out, they're looking for a body. I don't know if they have it confirmed that he's dead yet. I doubt that. But again, when you're looking into deep bodies of water and you have people diving down, you're looking for a body. So I don't know where they were looking, where they were diving or whatever, but something gave them the idea to look there. I don't know what, but they were looking there. So yeah, I don't know until they find him. And maybe, well, I'll probably say something when they find the cause of death for sure. But until they find him, I don't know what else is gonna happen in this story. And the final story of the day: the man who killed 5 staff members at the Capital Gazette newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland, received 5 consecutive life sentences. 41-year-old Dare Ramos went into the newspaper office in June 2018 with a 12-gauge shotgun and killed 5 people and injured a 6th. They ranged from reporters to salespeople to whatever, just people who were working in the office there. In October 2019, he pleaded guilty to 23 counts, including 5 counts of first-degree murder. He was also sentenced to a 6th life sentence for injuring the 6th person. That was an attempted murder charge, I believe, and received an extra 345 years on the rest of the charges he faced, which included firearms charges, things like that. Good. Sorry. I know I'm supposed to remain unbiased here, but he killed reporters who were doing their job. Good. Stay in prison the rest of your life. And that is it. That is it for this week, guys. Check us out on Facebook, Crime in Court USA. Check us out on Twitter, @Crime in Court. Check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/Crime in Court USA. As I said last week, I'm really want to get into actually reading some public documents. I want to request some police reports and stuff. I want to be able to look at federal court documents, all kinds of stuff, man. I really want to get back into the journalism game, baby. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, that costs money. So if you guys could throw me a few bucks a month on Patreon, I would greatly appreciate it. But of course, if you just want to listen to the show, I appreciate that as well. Share the show with your friends. Share it with your enemies. Spread the word about Crime in Court USA. The show is growing. I gotta say, the show is growing, and I love that. We have now been downloaded in 22 countries, and that is freaking awesome. I don't know why other people are so interested in what goes on here in the States, but they are, and that's awesome. Thanks for listening to the show. Also, leave a nice review on iTunes if you can. That apparently helps the algorithm. It'll get it in front of more eyes and stuff like that. Right now, we're just really trying to grow the audience, folks. We're really trying to grow the audience. My name is Mundo, and I'm out. Peace.